2 years ago, Republican Senator Katie Britt of Alabama took on what's often considered one of the toughest assignments in politics, delivering her party's rebuttal to the president's State of the Union address. Broadcast live from her kitchen in Montgomery, the speech marked Britt's introduction to a national audience. Many viewers saw an over-the-top performance. Actress Scarlett Johansson later parodied her as a scary mom on Saturday Night Live. Even some Republicans described the response as baffling and bizarre. But colleagues say that early caricature doesn't reflect who Britt is in the Senate. They describe her not as a hyper-partisan firebrand, but as a bipartisan dealmaker. Now, Britt finds herself in the middle of high-stakes negotiations over changes to immigration enforcement following deadly shootings in Minneapolis. Democrats are refusing to fund the Department of Homeland Security without reforms, leading to a shutdown that has stretched on for more than 10 days. The standoff is testing how far lawmakers are willing to go to resolve deeply divisive issues. Britt's approach to politics was shaped early on. As a teenager, she impressed veteran Alabama political columnist Steve Flowers, who urged then-Senator Richard Shelby to take notice. Britt later worked for Shelby and eventually became his chief of staff. Shelby, a longtime leader on the Senate Appropriations Committee, was known for his bipartisan relationships, including a close working partnership with Democratic Senator Patrick Leahy of Vermont. Former colleagues say Britt learned from Shelby that trust and personal relationships are essential to getting deals done. When Shelby retired in 2022, Britt, at age 40, became the youngest Republican woman elected to the Senate. In her Capitol Hill office, she keeps reminders of Shelby's legacy, including a framed campaign handbill from his first run for office. Even her desk once belonged to Shelby, and before him, to Lyndon B. Johnson. Allies say Britt has carried Shelby's relationship-focused style into her own career. As chief of staff, she quickly met with every other Senate chief. Now, as a senator, she continues to cultivate relationships across the aisle. That approach helped her work with Democratic Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia on legislation to address affordable child care, and later on a deal to end a record-long government shutdown. Kaine says Britt was willing to keep talking, even when negotiations appeared close to breaking down. Britt says compromise is part of the job. Anybody can go sit in a corner, she said in a recent interview. 2-year-olds do it best. Still, the current debate over immigration has exposed tensions. Britt was troubled by viral images of a 5-year-old boy being detained by federal officers in Minneapolis and raised questions with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. But publicly, she has focused her criticism on Democrats, accusing them of risking paychecks for federal workers by withholding funding. That message has frustrated Democratic Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut, her counterpart on the Appropriations Subcommittee overseeing Homeland Security. Murphy argues that concern for federal workers should extend to immigrant children caught up in enforcement actions. Despite her efforts at mediation, Britt has remained a reliable vote for President Trump's agenda, supporting him 100% of the time on legislation where he has taken a position, according to Congressional Quarterly. At the same time, she was among a handful of Republicans who criticized a racist video shared on Trump's social media account. Britt said the post should have never been posted to begin with. Political observers in Alabama say Britt is walking a delicate line, balancing loyalty to her party and president with a desire to be seen as a serious legislator who can deliver results. Steve Flowers describes senators as falling into two camps, ideologues and facilitators. He believes Britt aims to be the latter, focused on bringing federal resources home to Alabama while maintaining conservative credentials. Whether that balancing act can hold in today's polarized climate remains to be seen. But for now, Katie Britt is working to redefine herself, not as the caricature from a televised rebuttal, but as a negotiator at the center of Washington's most contentious debates.